Welcome to Spectrum News at 10. I am Emedion James coming to you live from Uyo. Let's take a look at today's headlines. Federal government releases 32.9 billion naira to boost primary health care. Senate pushes INEC to defend election result. Plus, Trump's trip to Asia aiming to make deals with Xi. Bring the details of the stories and more in just a moment. Many thanks for staying tuned. Excuse me. We begin the news at 10 for a national scene where the federal government has approved and released 32.9 billion naira through the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund, marking the third round of disbursement in 2025. The Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Mohammed Pateh, announced this in a statement titled The Red Letter, urging citizens to actively participate in ensuring the funds are used effectively. The funds are intended to strengthen primary health care across the country. The BHCPF supports Nigerians' healthcare by providing basic health services, strengthening primary care, and allocating resources for emergency treatment. Meanwhile, the federal government has commiserated with the people of Niger State over the tragic petrol tanker explosion that occurred in Essa, Kache local government area of the state on Tuesday. The government, in a statement signed by the Minister of Education, Mohammed Idris, said the incident, which left over 30 people dead, had once again brought to the fore the devastating human and material consequences of failed tanker accidents in communities. The government lamented that despite sustained public sensitization and repeated warnings about the dangers of scooping fuel from fallen tankers, some citizens still take such life-threatening risks. The federal government, however, said the National Emergency Management Agency had also been directed to complement ongoing efforts by the state government in providing relief and medical assistance to victims and their families. From the Red Chambers now, where the Senate on Wednesday called for the transfer of the burden of proof in election petitions from aggrieved candidates to the Independent National Electoral Commission, the body that conducts and supervises election. The proposal formed a key part of deliberations as lawmakers debated the general principles of a bill seeking to repeal the 2022 Electoral Act and enact a new Electoral Act 2025. The move, they argued, would make the electoral process more credible, transparent and accountable. But the Senate French proposal sharply divided opposition parties, with the People's Democratic Party warning that the move could undermine democracy. We move to the Green Chambers, where the House of Representatives on Wednesday moved to probe the 460 million former President Goodluck Jonathan administration circuit televisions in strategic locations within the Federal Capital Territory, FCT. Now, this is aimed to improve security in the nation's capital. The resolution came after the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance moved by the member representing Isuakwato and Umaniocha Federal Constituency, Abia State, Amaobi Oga, during Wednesday's plenary. Oga said as part of insecurity in the nation's capital has made it imperative to revisit the project. Recall that in 2010, the federal government took a loan of $460 million to install CCTV cameras in the FCT However, the project was said to have not been executed. In politics, the Northern Elders Unity Forum of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has launched a blistering attack on the Minister of Federal Capital Territory (FCT), Nyesom Wike, and his political allies, accusing them of plotting to destroy the PDP and weaken opposition politics in Nigeria. In a communique issued at the end of its 18th general meeting, the forum reaffirmed its unwavering confidence in the leadership of the PDP acting national chairman, Ambassador Leah Umar Damagum, while condemning what it described as desperate attempts by some party members to derail the party's forthcoming national convention, scheduled for November 15 and 16 in Ibadan, Oyo State. The National Secretary of the Forum, Dr. Abbas Sadaiki, in a strongly worded statement, said the decision to defend the unity of the party was both unanimous and resolute. We move now to Africa, where judges in Cameroon have dismissed calls for the partial or total cancellation of the heavily disputed presidential election, saying they will announce the results on Monday. Major cities in the country have been rocked by protests, with opposition supporters alleging that 12th October poll was marred by irregularities, including ballot stuffing. Judges on the Constitutional Council dismissed 8 petitions, citing insufficient evidence of irregularities or lack of jurisdiction to annul results. Recall that the opposition candidate Issa Sheroma had declared himself the winner, a claim rejected by allies of 92-year-old President Paul Biya, who is seeking another 7-year term. Still in Africa, 5 French citizens have died while on a charitable mission in West Africa after their bus crashed off a bridge in Togo, confirming Tuesday's road accident in the center of the coastal nation. The Togolese government gave a toll of 5 dead and 8 wounded without specifying the victims' nationalities. According to an official from the group's branch in La Ciotat in southwestern France, the hometown of 3 of the deceased. The victims were members of the Lion Club charity en route to open a maternity clinic in neighboring Benin Republic. On its website, the Lion Club, an international health and environment charity, says it has 1.4 million members across the world. On the foreign scene, U.S. President Donald Trump is set to embark on a major trip to Asia this week, with all eyes on an expected meeting with Chinese leader Xi Jinping that has huge implications for the global economy. Trump said on Wednesday he was making a big trip to Malaysia, Japan, and South Korea, his first visit to the region since he returned to the White House in a blaze of tariff and geopolitical brinkmanship. Much of the trip remains shrouded in uncertainty. The White House has given almost no details, and Trump has warned that his anticipated sit-down with Xi in South Korea may not even happen amid ongoing tensions. Still on the foreign scene, the United Kingdom has announced a major change to its post-study wording Nigerians. The change will take effect from January 2027. The UK Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood made the announcement on October 14th, explaining that the policy is part of a broader effort to tighten immigration control, contribute effectively to the UK economy. Still to come in just a moment. 1,462 per dollar from 1,464.5 per dollar on Tuesday, indicating 2.5 naira appreciation for the naira. Consequently, the margin between the parallel markets and NAFEM rate narrowed to 30 naira per dollar from 35.5% per dollar on Tuesday. The company limited has suffered a drop in both production and earnings, losing about 300 a month. Now, this is according to its latest monthly performance report. Fee 380 billion naira. Profit after tax also declined from 539 billion naira in August to 216 billion naira in September. The report indicated that total crude oil and condensate production averaged 1.61 million barrels per day in September compared to 1.65 million barrels per day in August. In health, stakeholders on Wednesday urged governments at all levels and Nigerians to strengthen food safety and nutrition, curb antimicrobial resistance, boost healthcare funding, enhance pandemic preparedness, and invest in women's health to build resilient health systems and extend the health expectancy of Nigerians. They made the call at the 2025 Get Feel Health Summit in Abuja, themed Resilient Health Futures. This year's focus is on strengthening local health resilience through chronic disease management. The summit noted that a resilient health system is critical for improving life expectancy, which currently stands at 54 years. The event, organized by the Get Field Impact Foundation, brings together leaders from governments, civil society, academia, and the private sector. Still in health, in a move to deepen public awareness on compulsory health insurance, the Lagos State Health Management Agency has unveiled Nigeria's first health insurance online radio, known as Ilare Eco Spotlight, to educate residents on the importance and benefits of enrolling in the scheme. The Health Awareness Digital Radio is another innovative step by LASTMAN towards achieving universal health coverage. Recall that in July 2024, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu signed an executive order marking health insurance compulsory for all residents. To sports news now, where Zimbabwe sacked head coach Michael Nice on Wednesday after the World Cup. The Warriors drew 5 matches and lost 5 to finish bottom of a group won by Nebo. The 8-year-old German won only 2 of his 16 matches since taking charge last year, both against Namibia in 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifier. Zimbabwe have been drawn with Egypt, South Africa, and Angola in the first round of the AFCON tournament, which kicks off in Morocco on December the 21st. Still in sport, Chelsea took full advantage of an early red card for Ajax captain Kenneth Taylor to thrash the Dutch giant 5-1 in the Champions League at Stamford Bridge on Wednesday. Enzo Macares gambled in making 10 changes paid off as McGill and Moses Casido struck before Enzo Fernandez and Gustavo converted from the penalty spot in the first half. George rounded off the score in the second half as Chelsea made it back-to-back Champions League wins after an opening night defeat at Bayern Munich. The Blues climbed to 11th in the table, while Ajax remained rooted to the bottom of the Champions League standings.
I can hold in the middle of the sea how I want you to. But here's what I'll do.